Now, who didn't see this one coming? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the city of Palm Springs in the LA area, I suppose, in California, of course, proposing UBI, that's universal basic income, to quote unquote transgender and non-binary people. Now, I'm not really sure where this whole thing came from, whose brainchild of an idea this was, but if you happen to fall into that particular category, then you may be entitled to monthly cash payments. Just for existing, you may be entitled to monthly cash payments. Now, let's get into the article straight away because I've not read into this story as of yet. I have an article right here from LA Times, and of course, this article will always be in the description box for you to read on your own without my commentary, without me interrupting and giving my 2 cents on it. But let's go through it right here. And you see the headline. This is on LA Times, of course. This is a quote unquote reputable news source. In Palm Springs, guaranteed income program for transgender residents molds, meaning they're thinking about it. They're thinking about, are we going to do this? Are we not going to do it or whatever? Okay. Now, yes, you have a homeless crackhead, homeless mental patient, homeless because of economic problem in California, especially in a place like LA. But let's not worry about that too much. Let's not worry about fixing that. I'm not even saying throw money at it. I'm just saying maybe the bigger issue here is helping out the trans residents of the place. Okay, let's get into what's going on. The city of Palm Springs will allocate $200,000. Not a lot of money, actually. 200 bands. I mean, you can make that by yourself in Silicon Valley. Maybe you could have 2 people that make that in Silicon Valley. If they both work in the tech industry. So it's not that much, actually. So I'm wondering, is it for a particular person or is it for a particular, like 2 or 3 people? What's going on? We'll see. But they're going to allocate $200,000 to develop a guaranteed income pilot program for transgender and non-binary residents. So, okay, they're going to spend $200,000 to develop it just to get just to get the ideas out there, to brainstorm and to do all that, I suppose. If I'm wrong about what I'm saying, y'all please let me know in the comments. But again, I don't think 200 grand would be enough to give out to residents as guaranteed income for any amount of time if it's going to be more than 1 or 2 people, especially in a place like LA. But we'll move on. City council members voted unanimously Thursday to pay DAP, Health and Queer Works to design the program and apply for state funding. Okay, so they're going to give this 200 bands, as a cool kid say, $200,000 to that particular organization. Then they're going to develop the program, and then they're going to send it off to get more money, probably then tune the millions to trans and or non-binary peoples. But we'll move on. The first of 3 phases outlined in the city report to bring the proposed project to fruition. The decision arrives amid a flurry of nationwide legislation aimed at restricting the rights of transgender use. Oh, okay. So maybe, if you're 5 years old, you can't be on hormone blockers and puberty blockers. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what we're talking about right there. So maybe this is to allow a little boy to chop his thing off and call himself a girl. Maybe that's what's happening. I hope not. I hope that shouldn't be legal, obviously, for obvious reasons. And there shouldn't be any actuallys out there in the crowd, because if you are, hey man, call the feds on yourself and get yourself locked up. You will thank yourself in a few years, but I'll move on. Council member Christy Holstage, who brought the matter to the meeting, said Monday that she felt, quote, incredibly proud, unquote, of the city for coming down on, quote, the right side of history and supporting our trans and non-binary, gender non-conforming community. Like other guaranteed income programs, the pilot would provide direct cash payments to individuals to spend as they see fit. That sets it apart from some financial assistance programs that come with work requirements or specify how the money can be spent. That's called welfare. Okay, you got food stamps and Section 8 and things of that nature, strings attached, which makes sense because if you're going to give out welfare benefits, there should be strings attached to prevent abuse. Now, is it going to be abused? Yes, but it's to prevent it. It's the spirit of it is for it to be used properly. When you just give money out there like that, it's going to be abused. Okay, what's to stop a guy like Hollywood Hogan for throwing on the wig, like some kind of LGBT affirming wig with various colors and all kind of swoop bangs and baby hairs. What's to prevent him from throwing that wig on and saying, you know what, my name is no longer Hollywood Hulk Hogan. My name is Hollywood Hogana, and I want to get UBI. Yeah, I'm rich, but so what? I identify as poor. Yeah, I've been a pro wrestler as a male for the past 70 years, but so what? I identify as a woman now. I'm like Caitlyn Jenner. You understand? I'm in front of the Wheaties box as a male, but now I identify as female. So where my money at? Huh? And is it going to be an income requirement? So there won't be strings attached, but will there be? But we'll move on. Proponents say these types of programs promote physical and psychological well-being by giving some of society's most marginalized groups a financial life vest. What about being transgender makes you poor, or it makes you struggle in society, especially in a place like California? Why would you be struggling just because you're transgender? I don't really understand. I don't get it. At the meeting, QueerWorks chief executive Jacob Rostovsky, interesting, said the program will provide monthly payments of $600 to $900 to 20 participants who identify as transgender or non-binary. Okay, so let's do a little bit of quick math here. So how long is this going to be? It says 20 participants. Let's just do the math monthly, how much that would cost, right? So let's say on the low end, $600. So 600 times 20, so that's 12,000 a month. That's not so bad, I suppose. So maybe the 200 could be used. But then they're going to do another 20, and that's going to serve as a control group and receive social services that are built into the program, but not the monthly payments. So maybe they probably get the payments, but just not in cash. So the money that they would normally get as cash would probably go to an NGO. So probably 12,000 again. So that's 24,000 in a month. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that works. According to those behind the project, the transgender and non-binary community is particularly vulnerable to unemployment, homelessness, discrimination, and assault. Now, what are we talking about when we say assault? And who are we talking about when we say transgender and non-binary? Are we talking about people that, ladies of the night or gentlemen of the night or however they identify? Because when I hear stuff like they say stop killing trans women and they're talking about black women, or people that identify as women, biological XY males that identify as trans women that are black, usually you're talking about somebody walking the street. That's just what that is. You ain't talking about regular normies going to their job at Subway or Quick Trip or Kmart or Wally World. You're talking about people that are on the street engaging already in a very dangerous activity. Hopping in our cars, one of these guys might go ahead and just put you in the dirt. It is what it is. They understand that risk when they're going out there and doing that, so they probably shouldn't be out there in the streets like that. Do something else with your life, but I'll move on. Quote, this is a chance to help individuals receive money that we can think of as subsidy to subsidize the gap in income that the trans and non-binary community faces due to having some of the highest levels of unemployment in the country. Rostovsky, who is trans, said at Thursday's meeting. It's kind of a conflict right there, right? It's like, well, this is what they face, and I happen to be one of them. So can I get some money too? That's kind of what it seems like, but we'll move on. There's not a whole much. Let's read some of this, and I'll just wrap it up. QueerWorks is a Coachella Valley-based nonprofit aimed primarily at addressing disparities faced by trans, etc. DAP Health is a nonprofit resource in the Valley for those affected by or at risk for HIV and AIDS. Now, this is kind of dangerous to say that in the article, ain't it? To talk about people that are LGBT and trans and non-binary, and then at the same time mention HIV and AIDS. Didn't the baby get in trouble for that? Remember, the baby said, if you're not doing X, Y, and Z with a male, if you're a male, put your lighters in the air. If you don't have HIV, AIDS, or whatever, put your lighters in the air. And then they said, hey, you're trying to link people that are in the LGBT community to HIV and AIDS. That's transphobic. That's homophobic. We're going to cancel you. But right here in the article, they're talking about how there's a group that's going to be directly linked to this project dealing with the LGBT community that focuses on HIV and AIDS. So I don't understand. It's okay when people that are involved with the community say it, but when a guy who's not in the community alludes to it, then he's got to get canceled. Make that make sense. And he should not be canceled for what he said, because if you are a black male and you're gay or bisexual, you have a 1 in 2 chance of catching HIV. I did not say that incorrectly. 1 in 2, 50% chance. If you're Hispanic and you got the same thing going on, gay or bisexual, whatever you want to call yourself, if you're a man, and to be clear, I'm talking about men, I'm talking about women. If you're a man that has sex with men, it don't matter what you call yourself. You can call yourself straight sometimes, gay, bisexual. If you are a man that has sex with men and you're black, 50% chance HIV. Hispanic, 25% chance of catching HIV. These are the facts according to the CDC. I didn't make it up. I'm not being homophobic. I'm just giving you the statistics, and I'll link to my sources in the box so you can see it for yourself, and don't take my word for it. Please fact check me and tell me I'm wrong. I challenge you to tell me I'm wrong, but I doubt you'd be able to do that, but I'll move on. Galvanizing the request is the state's commitment to providing $35 million in funding for guaranteed income pilot programs. The state's plan approved last year targets pregnant women and young adults who have aged out of foster care system. Rostovsky said they've been, quote, highly encouraged, unquote, to apply for a piece of the funding, noting that 5% of foster youth identify as transgender. So the number at the beginning of 200,000, that's not going to be what they are aiming for. They probably want to get. So let's just do a little bit of math again. So let's say 5% of 10 million is 500,000. If I'm wrong, if I'm right about that, yeah. 5% of 10 million is 500,000. So out of 35 million, you're talking about a little bit more than that. So it's probably close to a million, 2 million, 3 million, however they want. It's going to definitely be up there. Probably like 1.5, 2, 3 million for UBI. But we'll see. Okay, so there's more, of course, in the article. This will be in the box. As I close, I want to say this. UBI is not going to work, just in general. I know Andrew Yang and a lot of the Yang gang out there enjoy the idea of UBI, but answer me this question. Has the welfare state worked? Has it worked? I mean, has it really benefited us as a nation? I don't think so. I think people are much more entitled and poorer, although they have more at their fingertips. They have the whole world right here in their hands and don't use it. What they do? They go watch inappropriate videos. They buying drugs. This stupid stuff that they shouldn't be doing. You can empower yourself with this. This right here can be a ticket out of poverty. But yet, what do? When I was a little boy, here's an old man in the snow. I had to walk 45 miles in the snow with barefoot. I had tennis rackets on my feet. Here's an old man in the snow story. When I was a little boy, like 8, 9 years old, if I ever had any kind of thought that came in my mind, any kind of idea, like, I wonder how this is done, or I wonder how that is done, I would go to the library, literally. I'd walk to the library in my neighborhood out Portsmouth and go to the decimal system and try to find books that I could, like, that could kind of focus on the idea I had so I can discover more about it. But now I can just search, go to my phone. I can even talk. I don't even got to type. I can just talk to my phone and it's right there. People have become more entitled. We've gotten more, but we are producing fewer things in this country. We're trying to live like kings and queens without producing the things that are required to have a kingdom. Without being kings and queens, we want to live like kings and queens. So what's more of the same kind of thing that has gotten us into this state going to do for us? All you're going to do is just create more inflation because, hey, everybody has money now. Everybody got UBI. Everybody got welfare. So let's just increase the floor. Let's raise the floor up. That happened with the whole thing with the stimulus checks, right? Everybody's got a stimulus. Everybody's all this free money. Everybody's getting paid more at their job to keep up with the stimulus checks and the demand for labor. So now things cost more. This is a natural occurrence. This is going to be a lateral move at best. It's not going to help. Just more of the same. The welfare state, as I close for real this time, should be eradicated. Eliminate the welfare state, you will see society improve. But if you keep doubling down on the welfare state, you're not going to see any improvement. You're going to see a continuous decline in Western society, not just the good old US of A. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this program out there in California, UBI? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm not in favor of it. I think it's a bad idea. And I think that The bigger problem in California is all the crime and the homelessness and whatnot. Focus on the way to get rid of all the drugs and the chaos and the misery in your state first, then worry about some other things afterward. And I think once you really focus energy on trying to tighten up the state and clean it up, you won't have any time to try and just give out money for people that are on the streets using drugs and engaging in illicit kind of trade work. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.